and then you won't even have that box pop up anymore.
So it's a recording.
Mm-hmm. Now it's recording, and then you can share.
Recording, and if I want to minimize it, well, at the same time, oh.
So right now when it's recording, it's only recording you. It's only recording what's on the camera, unless you share the screen. If you share the screen, then it will record the PowerPoint.
I didn't understand. When students see me and PowerPoint together. So this is Zoom.
So students who are...
Here you go. Can I click on share?
Oh, not that share. It'll be the one down here.
Oh. So, oh, I can share the camera with student.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, they can see the PowerPoint.
As long as you share the PowerPoint, yes. Or you could just do share screen, which is already selected. So then just click share down there. And then it shares whatever is on your screen. So right now, everyone will see the PowerPoint and then the little picture of you.
Okay. All right.
But if you click stop share, it's just the video of you that it shows, which is probably what you'll want if you're writing, so that it's bigger and people can see it.
That again, that pause is, sorry. So if I want to stop the video and just talk to this class and then start the video, what should I do?
You'll have to stop share.
Stop share.
And then you can pause the recording right there.
Oh. But to restart, I click, oh. Start recording cloud. This is recording.
Yep.
Not at the top.
That's recording. And then
give me the same thing.
It'll always be the same one. So you can pause and you can play it again.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, it's recording. Let's look at course syllabus together, guys. It's offline. It's my contract with you and your contract with me. My office hours is mentioned. You're in cost accounting. Your book is Cornerstone of Cost Management. It's written by 2 professors at OSU. They are very outstanding professors. That's why I selected this course, right? And anybody has a problem buying the book? Yes.
I went to the bookstore just before this class, and all their books for this class are on back order, they said. So
They didn't have it on.
Yeah, they made me pay for it in advance, and they said it could take up to a week to get here.
2 weeks.
They said it'll be then with it. They'll just email me when it gets here.
Okay. Well, you want to see me after class and make a copy of a chapter for you until you get the book. All right. I hate to talk about it, but plagiarism has happened in 2 of my classes. Please do not make copy of assignment from friends, internet, or any other sources. Okay, I have a software can detect that. This assigned problems are copied. They are not student work. As an accountant, as a manager, as an economist, as a marketer, your best asset is what, guys? Your honesty. Okay? You're going to be manager, you're going to be accountant, you're going to be economist, whatever is your major. Okay? Your profession require you to be honest. Okay? Be honest, guys. You're not cheating on me, you're cheating on yourself if you make copy or assignment. If you have access to solutions, that's okay. I'm not jealous. But learn from that solution and show me your own work. Okay? I don't know if you're young or old enough to remember Enron situation. Everybody understand what Enron means? What happened to Enron? Dishonesty of accountant, CFO, Chief Accounting Financial Officer. He wasn't honest. He was under pressure by CEO to change the numbers on income statement. Hey, our net income this year is lower than last year. Our level of liability is higher compared to last year. It's not good for financial users, which are stockholders. Do something about it. Manipulate the numbers. Eliminate some of the liability and inflate sales, fictitious sales, that we can show a higher net income. And he accepted that pressure and he did it. And you know what happened to company, right? He went to bankruptcy. A whistleblower, a lady who was working at Enron, was fired a month before, and she was working in Oklahoma City. I know her. She was a whistleblower. She informed SEC that, hey, in Enron, they are doing fraud on their financial statement. And SEC sent a group of auditors to that company. Surprisingly, they saw that auditors of Enron and Enron accountant, they are shredding documents to destroy all documents of fraud. In the morning of that day, the stock price of Enron was $98 per stock. In the evening, it went to 92 cents per stock. When information dissemination, right? Information traveled fast in the market. So Enron went to bankruptcy. Arthur Andersen, one of the big auditing firm, went to bankruptcy, closed the business because they were compromising with Enron. We are discussing that heavily in auditing class, that auditors need to be independent, following ethical rules. Right? So the CFO accountant lost all of his properties, vacation home in Florida at the time, 25 years ago, $700,000, lost his all luxury cars. He went to prison. CEOs and board of directors, they all went to prison. 2 of them died in prison because of heart attack. Are you with me, guys? That's the result of dishonesty. All depend on CFO if he would say, God, if he had the gut to say to CEO, no, I'm not going to do it. It's unethical. He may lose his job by not doing it, not following CEO's order. But the study shows, actually, I was helping a master's student at OSU writing his dissertation. His finding was that if you're fired from a company, avoiding unethical issues, you're going to get a better job with higher pay in another company. That was his result of research. So all the story is about, guys, being honest. Do not commit plagiarism. Academic misconduct, you read that, you're all adults and understand what you're doing. Now, page 3 of your assignment, course syllabus is talking about assignment and your responsibility. Now, If you look at the board, I wrote 5 steps you need to do in this chapter regarding assignments and quizzes and everything. Okay. First of all, I'm sorry. I think that way on video they can see it better. I'm not sure. Technology is not working. Read the chapter carefully. Do not jump to assignment without reading the chapter. Some student has done that. Read the chapter carefully. Look at review practices I posted on course resources. For each chapter, I put example of solutions for questions at the end of the chapter. Those practices help you a lot to understand chapters better. Okay? Follow these steps, guys. Then start taking quiz. Then do the assignment. And they do discussion question. There is on forum, if you click on forum, you see discussion question posted by me. You need to reply to that, answer that question. It's a short question, don't panic. It's not a long question, right? Okay, so your participation point is participation point here in classroom and here. You may answer question asked by other students, communicate with each other on discussion question, right? That interaction helps a lot to understand and learn much better. So 5 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for each chapter. Okay? Don't forget that. Discussion first. It's your participation point is depend on it. Now, don't be late if you don't want to, if you cannot come to class, let me know ahead of time. All of your homework should be done on assignment, should be done on Microsoft Word or Excel. I prefer Excel, guys, because if you know Excel, you're going to get the job, the first job you interview. Excel is extremely important in your area, in business area. Okay. If you haven't learned it, that's fine. Learn it. It's easy. It's very easy. How to get summation, how to subtract the numbers, how to add to numbers. Okay, I can help you if you don't know that. You should know it by now. Right? If not, use Microsoft Word, but you need to show all of your calculation to me. If you use Excel formula is at the top. You cannot show, you're not required to show your calculation. When you use Excel, that means you know the formula. But when you use Word, you need to type your calculations for them. Okay? If you just show me one piece of numbers, this is the number after calculation, and there is no calculation, I'm not going to grade that assignment. I want to see how did you get that number? Right? That's important. How did you get that number? And you need to post your assignment on a coursework, each chapter. There is a shell for it, and post it over there. And quizzes are online. Again, you go to coursework, you click on quiz and take the quiz. Right? PowerPoint. I'm going to follow PowerPoint in classroom when I'm lecturing it. You have access to it. Make sure you get a print out of that when you come to class. Now, you may ask question, if we have PowerPoint, why should you come to classroom? I expand on PowerPoint, guys. I make more clarification. Okay? I explain more of that. I go beyond the PowerPoint. So your attendance in class is very important. When you send an email, make sure you write your name, class you're in. I'm teaching 5 classes, guys. I can respond to you faster if I know which class you're talking about. You want to have fun a little bit? I give you a real example. It's a real world example. Have you seen that before? You're laughing. Someone is laughing. Yeah. It's an email I received from a student. Who are you? What class you're talking about? What chapter you're talking about? Which part of problems you don't understand? If you communicate this way with your boss at workplace, they kick your ass out of that company. Immediately, I guarantee you. Okay? Assume Saffarian doesn't know much as you think. Assume you're talking to your boss in your workplace. Right? Be specific, explain it well. I am in this class. I have issues with the problem, part A. I don't understand how to calculate that. Or this is my calculation attached. Let me know where I'm wrong. Be professional. That's why you need to be when you get the job. Okay. So again, part of communication. When you communicate with me, follow that principles of communication. Due dates and deadlines are mentioned in the course syllabus for each chapter. If you pay attention to chapter 1, we talk about introduction to cost accounting, exercise 1.4 and 1.5. 1 means chapter, and 4 and 5 means question numbers at the end of chapter. Okay, that's what you need to do as a homework. And quiz, you just click on chapter 1 quiz and discussion forum. You go to discussion forum, click on forum, and then you see the questions for chapter 1 and provide the answer. The same for all chapters. Now you have about when we finish a chapter, basically what I do is I lecture on Mondays and we practice on Wednesday. Practice are posted for you guys. Again, make sure you bring it to class with you. Print it, bring it to class. We go over it again. Trust me, we go over things. Repetition helps to understand better. You may say, oh, I know, I understand these solutions. But when we go to class, I expand on it. I give some more point attached to it, invisible points to that solution that you can make a note on it. Okay? Then on Wednesday, we practice. Once they finish practice, the homework is due next Monday. Are you with me, guys? Okay. I may change the date. If I die or I'm sick, I have to change the dates. But as long as I don't send you an email or I inform you of that, we're going to stick with this due dates. Study hints I mentioned here, you can work together, guys, but show your own work. Actually, teamwork is good. You can learn from each other if you can get together. We have 3 exams. Exams include multiple choice question, true, false, and essay questions. My bad habit is for every test, I put 2 problems at the end of the chapter. And those problems are very, very, very similar to practice solution and assignments. I want to make sure you did the assignment yourself and you understood the assignment. Okay? When you submit your assignments, after due date, I'm going to post the correct solution for you. So you need to compare your answers with my answers and learn from it. That's why I put 2 problems at the end of each exam. Make sure you understood those problems, okay? It's actually as a bonus. If you put time, understand the correct solutions to assignment and practices, you earn 20 points. Is that bad or good? You want me to eliminate that? No? Keep it? I don't see any reaction, guys. Okay. For online student, of course, they have the same thing, multiple choice questions and 2 essay questions during the specified time. Any question, guys? Any comment? Remember, participation point start here, guys. No question? Can I have that roster? Everybody sign it? Go ahead. You didn't sign it? Who are you? Okay. Let's look at PowerPoint for chapter 1. As I said, this is continuation of managerial accounting, guys, right? We have 3 sections in accounting: financial accounting, managerial accounting, and cost accounting. I want you to understand the difference between these 3. Cost accounting falls under managerial accounting. Okay. Now, you all took financial 1 accounting, right? How to record the transaction, how to post it to general ledger. Is that a good refresher? How to prepare unadjusted trial balance, then adjusted trial balance, and finally, how to prepare balance sheet, income statement, cash flow, and earnings statement, right? 4 required financial statements. It's required because you have to report it to SEC every year, especially if you are a public company. So you follow the rules in financial accounting, accounting standards, right? There's been about 220 accounting standards. FASB, Financial Accounting Standard Board, prepare those standards and dictate to accountant to use it. And you prepare those financial statements for whom? Why do you prepare financial statements? I have to ask someone. Daniela Gomez, are you here? You are?
Yeah.
Am I there to pronounce your name correct? Correct me, guys. I'm not good in pronouncing the name.
That's correct. I go by Ingrid.
You go by Ingrid?
Yeah.
Okay. Ingrid, why do you prepare financial statements?
So you can see how well a company is doing.
Measure performance of the company, right? Is that the only reason? That's one reason. That's a good reason. The main reason is, anybody else? The main reason is stockholders, shareholders, right? Shareholders need to know how the company is doing, how managers are running the company, right? And stock price in the market of that company depend on those financial statements. If income statement shows your profit is up compared to last year's, compared to other companies, your stock price is going to go up, right? If you have problems in the company, you're losing money, or you're closing a section of a company, or bad news comes out of from that company, any bad news, caught in fire, for example, inventory caught in fire. So stock price is going to go down. So main target of financial users are external users, people outside the company, shareholders, creditors, banks. They are interested to know how you're doing, right? Bank doesn't give you a loan if you're not profitable. And if when they give you a loan, they constantly check on your balance sheet and income statement, see if you're doing good. You're not going to default on the loan. So financial statements are regulated based on standards by FASB, and you prepare them for external users. Managerial accounting and cost accounting, which is part of managerial accounting, they are targeting internal users, mainly managers. Okay? And there is not much standard for it. Recently, COSO and other, there are some regulations. They are trying to set up standards for cost accountant and managerial accountant, but it's few. And the reason is each company is different than other company. Okay? The system are different. Manufacturing company are different than service company, and service company and manufacturing company within themselves, they are so different, and need of management are different. That's why cost accountant get more salary, guys, on average. Because you are preparing reports, special reports for managers to make decisions. Should I drop this product, stop using it or producing it, or should I go for new product compared to other companies, right? What is my unit cost? In order to establish a price, you need to know your unit cost, right? If a product costs you $100, you put 20% markup, for example, on it, you sell it $120. So calculation of unit cost is extremely important. But, you know, stockholders don't care about that. The stockholders like to see increase and decrease in net income, right? Increase in assets and decrease in liabilities. They analyze it that way to make decision to invest in that company or not. But managers who are responsible to run the company, they make important decisions. Okay? What to produce, how to produce, what is my cost, what is my variable cost, what is my fixed cost, how should I minimize those costs? All there are internal issues. So the big difference between financial and managerial accounting is users, external users versus internal users. Are you with me, guys? That's the main part of the chapter. I'm not going word by PowerPoint. When it comes to cost management system, pay attention here. To produce output for internal users, we discussed that. 3 broad objectives. That's very important. One is costing service, product, and other object. First of all, you need to calculate cost of the product you're producing. You go to Subway, you order sandwich. They have the cost of that. They already calculate the cost of that. Taco, they have the cost of each product they're selling it to you. You buy a car, they have the cost of that. Okay? Who prepared these costs? Cost accounting, right? There are lots of complexity, or sometimes it's difficult to calculate cost. We're going to discuss that heavily in other chapters, but I want you to give you importance of that. You're calculating cost of unit you're producing, and then planning and controlling. That's job of cost accountant. Why do you prepare budget, guys? Why each company is operate based on budget? You heard that United States in deficit in terms of budget, right? International deficit. Budget is telling you in quantitatively, in numbers, that you are complying with your restrictions, with your resources you have. Let's get an example here. Each state, if you go to macro level, not cost accounting, that's a good example. Each state collect taxes, right? That's a revenue for the states. And then they spend that money for that state, making roads, repair roads, bridges, schools, colleges, right? You cannot exceed the revenue you have, right? Your revenue is inflow, money coming to your hand. Your spending is your cost, is your expenses, and should match your revenue. You cannot spend money more than revenue. You don't have money to spend, right? That's a resource limitation. Budget tells you exactly the same thing. Hey, this is our revenue selling next year of, for example, 10,000 bicycles. You estimate the revenue. Okay, we're going to learn that, guys, in this class. Prepare budget. First, you determine how much my revenue is. Then, based on that revenue, how much of that goes to raw material purchase, pay laborers, pay overheads, buy new equipment, and so on. Are you with me, guys? That's the beauty of budget, because at any point of time, with help of technology, you can check if you are complying with your budget. You're not exceeding your budget, right? It's very important for company to have that budget, right? You're not exceed, and the main character of budget is controlling, guys. Imagine large companies like AT&T, Walmart, right? How a CEO control operation of all subsidiaries of AT&T around the world. You have a headquarter in New York or Washington, you're sitting in your office, you are CEO, right? You're wondering how my branch in Nebraska is doing, how the branch in India is doing, in Brazil, in China. You're responsible, right? You're CEO, you're responsible to control everything. You cannot fly or you cannot travel, you cannot visit all of them. Technology allows you to do it. When you prepare a budget, you break budget to each of your subsidiaries. Okay? You can see it on computer if branch in Brazil, for example, they are complying with budget or not. If they don't, you pick up the phone, talk to the manager in Brazil. Hey, why you are exceeding on your purchasing of assets? Why your expenses doesn't match your revenue, right? And make decision, immediate decision. Controlling, that's the beauty of having a budget, okay? And decision making, of course, but you make decision based on the budget. Cycle time is, that means from starting to ending a production of a company. Quality is important in cost area, right? You don't want to sacrifice quality for lower price or lower cost. Are you with me, guys? And process productivity, how many units you can produce in a certain point of time. These are the issues that most of the time manager asks you as a cost accountant to prepare a report. How long does it take to produce a bicycle? How many labor hours I put to produce a bicycle? How many of material I need to produce a bicycle or computer or any product? That's your job. That's what we're going to learn here. And assign cost to individual products. Let me get ahead of time a little bit on that, because it comes to you for rest of semester, guys. You are producing a product. What do you need to produce a product? Let's say you're producing, give me an example. I can't hear you. You're going to be
Pogo
entrepreneur.
sticks.
What?
Pogo sticks. You know, the bouncy sticks.
Okay. Let me abbreviate that. PS is a good abbreviation for that. You're producing that. First of all, explain what is that, what material you use for that.
I don't know, a pole and something to stand on and a spring that makes it bounce.
Okay. You need material, right?
Yeah.
Raw material. To produce it, you need a labor, right? Someone do it for you. Workers, managers, advisors, supervisors. And you need overhead. What is overhead? Utilities, waters, something that is not material or labor. Any other expense. Definitely you need water, you need electricity, you need gas, right? You need to set up a machine and lubricate it regularly. That's overhead, right? So, or it's transportation cost. This becomes extremely important, guys. Do not undervalue that. Today, sometimes overhead exceed these two costs. That's why we need to calculate it very, very precisely. So these are materials you need to produce a product, right? Are you with me, guys? $100,000 plus $50,000 labor plus $40,000 overhead. How much going to be your total cost of producing 1,000 PS? $190,000, if my math is correct. Is that right? Is that right? What is your unit cost? What is unit of PS? 1 unit of PS. Oh, come on, guys. Total is 190,000 for 1,000 units.
190.
Is that difficult? That's kind of math you're dealing with cost accounting. Easy math. 1,000 unit. So each unit costs you $190. The issue is how to calculate these factors. Right? It's easy most of the time because you have industrial information. Use it. Industrial information tell you if you want to produce PS, on average, you should use, for example, 5 pounds of material times price. They give you value of material. How long does it take to produce it? Have you taken your car to a mechanic, guys, to change a brake or repair it? They go look at the book. That book is standoff. It's tell the mechanic to change brake shoes on your car, certain car, take 2 hours. And they charge you 2 hours for it. It's the standard. So industrial information are very helpful to find out the cost of each of those, 190. So another thing I want you to understand ahead of time is managers basically constantly, they are interested to know if they produce more PS or less PS. They want to know if I produce 1 more PS, am I going to be profitable or I'm going to lose money? You need to know that damn cost to make a decision. If the price is more than 190, price of 1 additional unit is more than $190, yes, you go ahead with additional production, right? If the price is less than 190, additional, be careful, additional units, then stop in there. Okay? Do not produce it, do not sell it. You're losing money. We're going to discuss that heavily in future chapters. So again, The reason I brought it up is depend on the reports you prepare to managers. They make decision based on your reports. Okay. You're a cost accountant. You're not supposed to make decision what to do. What should you do? No, you're not telling. You're providing information to managers. That's responsibility to make decision, to analyze it and make decision to go with additional production or not to go with additional production. Greenspan was, I love that man. He was head of Federal Reserve. He constantly emphasized on this when he was consulting President Bush. He said, I'm not going to Bush what to do. I'm going to provide him with economic information. Decision is his decision. I'm not going to make decision. That's the job of accountant, not to make decision. Economist, not to make decision, right? As long as you are doing a good job of analyzing the numbers and present it to your boss, you have done a good job. Okay. Any questions? Lot can we say about global competition, guys? You all remember China, India, what they are producing. How do they compete in the United States, right? The statistic shows 7 years ago, Walmart is selling, the items on Walmart you're buying, 80% of that comes from China. Why they're coming from China? We cannot produce bicycles. We can send a missile to the moon. We cannot produce a bicycle. Should be imported from China? Huh? What is the reason for that? Global competition. They are cheaper, right? You can allocate your resources to more important stuff instead of manufacturing bicycle yourself. If you manufacture bicycle here in the United States, perhaps the cost is much, much, much higher than producing in China and imported from China. It's good for consumers, isn't it? It's good for consumer. Again, do not sacrifice quality, guys. This keyboard is manufactured in China. The cost is about $4. It used to be $2. Recently, it's higher than that. $4. If we want to produce it in the United States, the cost is going to be $29. Or trade. Have you taken international economics course? They talk about this issue indeed. So allocation of resources, right? United States is expert in some goods. They better put all of the resources on those goods and import the goods that are cheaper coming from other countries. That global competition. You decide you want to produce a bicycle in the United States. Entrepreneurship. Right? Some of you are going to go to that area. Open your own business. The first question in your mind is, do I have demand for this product I'm producing? If I have a demand, if there is a demand in the market for my product, is my cost can compete with the cost of China? Same product? These are the questions you're going to ask yourself. Then start the business, right? So global competition is, now as a cost accountant, you need to provide those information to manager. Hey, this product is produced in Brazil with this much of cost. And it's cost us to produce it here in Michigan and Oklahoma. Enterprise resource planning software. Let me skip that. Again, there is a concept I'd like to discuss it here. Just-in-time manufacturing. It comes to you with you again in a couple of future chapters. What is just-in-time system? Just-in-time system, you're sick of having inventory in your storage. Yeah, you produce a product, you put it in your storage until someone come and buy it, right? It costs you to keep it in inventory. Inventory has huge cost. That's why those damn Japanese created this system. Just-in-time system. That means you produce a product when you have a demand from a customer. Instead of putting it in storage, you directly send it to the customer. By eliminating inventory or minimizing your inventory, you're saving huge amount of cost. It's going to affect your unit cost, we calculated. Okay. So I was talking to a guy here. It's what Japanese guys, they form their companies in a U shape. You know, if you want to produce a car goes through different stages of production. Are you with me, guys? First stage is you produce the frame of the car, main structure of the car. Then it goes to another section of the company called engine and transmission. Each of these sections, they have the managers and employees of themselves. Once you finish, put engine and transmission on frame, it goes to another section for paint. Once you finish the paint, it goes to another section, put this other miscellaneous stuff in the seat and electronic device and tires. Anyway, let's say he's finished. This is finished line, miscellaneous. And then the car is ready. If you look at this U shape, the communication between all these managers to speed up the production and how to produce are much, much easier. They are in the same area, they can communicate it. If you pay attention to automobile in the United States, one section is in another state, another section is in another state. Those missiles going to moon, shuttles coming back, their parts are manufactured in different states. Airplane is the same. Car is the same. Recently, Ford and Chevrolet tried to use this pattern. Bring these sections close to each other. That these managers, there are a huge amount of communication needed between these managers, right? So by doing this, you are reducing your inventory. This guy, in his frame, under a frame, he can communicate with frame manager. He said, hey, we need another 100 frame. Send it to us. Right? This guy doesn't need to produce it ahead of time and put it in storage until this guy needs it. Right? Just-in-time system. Computer you're ordering. I ordered a computer, Dell, when I was a student at OSU. It came 24 hours after I ordered it. And the Dell, at the time, policy was, if you do not receive, I'm sorry, I changed it. It is 48 hours. If you do not receive computer by 48 hours, you get 20% discount. They guarantee the delivery on time. And it came after 48 hours. You need to order it. In 48 hours, they have, what they do is they assemble it, the material, they assemble it, they pack it, and they put it on UPS for you. They have to be very fast to do it, right? They do not make computers ready in storage that you go buy it from Best Buy. They eliminate inventory. Inventory, you need to have a clerk, right? In inventory, you have to have insurance for inventory, which is a huge cost. Clean up, keep up with safety of your product. It has a lot of cost. So when you eliminate that, your unit cost is going to go down sharply. And the first company used that was Toyota, actually. And they have been successful. They penetrate to market in the world. Their sales went up by 35%. Why? Because their unit cost went down. They could compete with all Volkswagen German cars, United States Ford and Chevrolet, in England, in all of the Europe countries. They could compete because their cost per unit was lower. They can charge a lower price then. And they keep their quality also high. That's the main thing, right? They keep the quality. I was doing a study, car auctions in the whole Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and partially in Dallas. It was amazing that the rush to buy a Japanese car, Toyota and Nissan, was much, much faster than buying other cars. I don't want to name it. Okay. When you go to auction, a Toyota comes in for sales in a row. About on average, about 25 dealers attacked to bid on it. But when, I shouldn't say that, when the fourth came in, maybe 2 or 3 dealers came to bid on it. That shows the quality and demand in the market. And it's true, it's not only in the United States, it's true in Europe, it's true in Asian countries, in Middle East, everywhere. So why they eliminated inventory values? My wife ordered a Honda SUV, I remember that, in 2005, and they didn't have it on stock. She said, we need to order it to be manufactured. Part of that was manufactured in Canada, but engine and transmission, all the way Japanese. We provide you in 3 days. Can you wait 3 days? The price was good, it was on sale. We said yes. And in 3 days, they they assembled that car and sent it to our Baguio, Francia, my bag. Our Baguio is not that big. So again, that's a management type of working, and they need help of cost accountant to make decision. Let me see what is more important. Value chain, just we need to know the activities required to design, develop, produce, and market and deliver product. The whole thing is value chain. Now, for a lot of products you are producing, that design and develop is a major cost. Okay. My daughter was involved in, when she was doing her PhD in College of Osteopathic, they were creating a new medicine for drunk people. Stop shrinking the brain. She was part of that team. Okay, they were developing, they wanted to have a medicine that stops shrinking the brain. When you eat alcohol too much, guys, your brain gets shrink, smaller and smaller. And they try to avoid that by the medicine. Now, do you know how long does it take until they could send the result and tests and everything to US FDA for approval? 12 years. They have to test it on animal, they have to test it then on humans. They didn't have material in the United States. They have to import material from certain countries and so on. And after approval, they can sell it. Still, it's not on the shelf. Doctors are not prescribing it yet. Okay, so imagine 12 years of doctors and programmers and experts working on a project. How much is going to cost? Right? Each doctor makes $200 up to $300,000 a year. especially if you are a researcher. A team of doctors and this expert are working. So the design of that product and testing it and developing it is a huge, huge cost. Of course, if it is approved, the test is positive, you make huge money out of it. But I want to tell you that the cost associated with design and developing a product is the major cost of any product. Total quality management, TQM, this is heavily discussed in production operation management. Anybody took that class? Not yet? Have you taken that? Good. Total quality management, again, is a system that based on customer satisfaction. Damn Japanese, where again started that. Okay. There was actually, they are deceiving the market. It wasn't a Japanese did it. It was an American guy who married a Japanese lady in Tokyo, and he invented TQM, Total Quality Management. He offered that to a couple of companies in the United States. They said, no, we are not going to implement it. The Toyota implemented. It was about 2 years of training, guys, to implement this system. It's not an overnight system. It's 2 years needed. You need to train employee how to work in this system. 2 years, Toyota implemented. Again, the product, their sales went up by high percentage. What they do is they collect a survey from customers. Okay, it's a lot of time and effort. What do you want to be in this product in terms of shape, color, design, and the material used? Do you prefer white color of this SUV or black? Do you prefer navigator or not? Right? Do you prefer a sporty shape or regular shape? It is a huge survey. It is about 120 questions they ask from customers. And they collect all these, maybe 100,000 surveys around the world. They collect all this survey, to put it in a data in computer, they analyze it. Okay, what are the most wanted things by customers? Color white. They start producing white color of SUV. Everything depends on customers. They are very customer-oriented, this system. Okay. If you remember, Chevy and Ford, they used to manufacture large 8-cylinder cars. You remember that? Perhaps your fathers or grandfathers used that. Their product at the time. It used a lot of gas, right? With OPEC issues, with gas price issues, with supply of gas, oil, and so stuff. Suddenly, this company realized, hey, we are losing demand for these cars because of gas consumption. Let's go to compact car. Let's produce compact car. As you can see now, Chevy and Ford they're producing small cars, right? Ford Fusion, Chevy Cruze, they are small cars. And they use much less gas than 8-cylinder cars. So adapt themselves with the global market. Total quality management is based on customer satisfaction. Now, again, that's the job of, how that's related to cost accounting. You need to provide enough information for management to make decisions. One thing that I've seen it in a lot of tests, on a lot of GRE tests, GMAT tests, MBA test, when you want to enter MBA program. OSU has their own test on MBA, is a difference between efficiency and effectiveness. What is the difference between these two? When we say you have been effective producing a product, if you are producing aspirin, you have to comply with standard, right? FDA standard. Most of the medical products are like that. You are effective when you meet those standards, right? Your effectiveness is acceptable, is good. We call it effective. Efficiency means try to minimize cost and increase benefit as much as you can. There is no limit. Increase efficiency. You have 100 employees producing bicycles. Let's see efficiency here. You can use that 100 employees, train them, produce daily, produce 100 bicycles, or produce 50 bicycles. The more they produce, their efficiency is increasing. Are you with me, guys? We call it labor efficiency. That's why companies sending you to get your bachelor degree, right? Every semester I have a student coming from Conoco, from Tulsa, CPA companies. They sent you to say, hey, go get your bachelor. Why? Because when you have higher education, you can be a better employee for them, right? They are not stupid to spend money, pay your tuition, guys. They know you're going to benefit them, right? Your efficiency is matter here. Instead of doing 2 jobs in a day, when you're efficient, you're going to do 3 jobs a day, and then 4 jobs a day, and 5 jobs, and go up. That's efficiency. That's the difference between efficiency and effectiveness. Effectiveness, you're comparing with the standard. Efficiency, there is no limit of increasing your productivity. Right? I want you to know the difference here. There are a lot of other subjects that you can read and understand it. Continuous improvement, business ethics, we discussed that earlier today. Now, when it comes to ethics, it's good to mention that IMA, Institute of Management Accountant, which used to give a CPA test, now they don't recently. Now they are establishing ethical standards. This institution doing it, that's his job. How auditors and accountants should behave. And when they do accounting for a company or they do auditing for a company. What is that? What ethical issues? They have to be competent. Competent means you have to update your knowledge. Okay? Be a knowledgeable person. If you know, accounting standards are constantly changing. Auditing standards are constantly changing, improving and improving, especially after Enron situation. Every year we have a conference at OSU that SEC people, IMA people, federal authority, state people, they all, accountants, faculties, academic, they all together in Stillwater, Oklahoma, they talk about accounting standards and auditing standards. If SEC plan to change something, they bring it up and discuss it to everybody, inform everybody on that. I attend that conference for the last 20 years. Now, going to that conference, why do you pay $300 you want to go to that conference? Because you're going to update yourself. You know what's the recent changes in auditing standards, in accounting standards. You need to be competent, okay? Another word is confidentiality of what you're doing. As an accountant or auditors, sometimes you don't have to talk to your wife or your spouse about what is going on in the company. The project LSU, I discussed that with my daughter. It's good, and let me tell you this story. One day I went home, I saw a card on my door, house door. It was from FBI and asked me to contact them. I panicked a little bit at the time. Okay? I wasn't an American citizen at the time. I had green card only. I said, oh God. I told my God, pack, we are going back. I called the guy. I don't want to mention his name. I talked to him on the phone. He was so nice, very polite. He said, because your daughter is involved in a project at OSU, we want to talk to her. Make a time, 10 minutes for us, okay? They came to our place 2 days after and talked to my daughter. I said, confidentiality. Whatever you do in that company, because the product they were producing deal with some energy and atomic, elements. He said, do not reply to any email come to you from outside the United States or someone that you don't know. Do not reply to that. Confidentiality is an issue. Do not tell anybody what you're doing. That's a security aspect of that. Now, you're a company is developing new product. Definitely, you don't want your competitors knows about it, right? If they know about it, they start doing it the same thing. And you cannot have a copyright on that. So confidential, when you are auditors or your accountant, you have, because of your position in the company, you have access to lots of information. You know a lot about the company, what they are producing, who are the customers, who are the creditors, right? How the product is produced. For complicated product, you don't want to disclose the method of production. So you should not talk about that with anybody, right? Confidentiality is an issue. Integrity, you need to be honest completely. Credibility, keep your credibility as an accountant. And resolution of ethical conflict means if there's something happen, you should be able to solve it with the other parties. Okay. You're the auditor, you're auditing financial statement of company, balance sheet, income statement. You see there is you discover a fraud in there. Somebody was stealing money. Someone is stealing inventory, right? Or management make manipulation numbers on balance sheet or income statement. How do you solve it? Okay. How do you solve it? The first thing is to talk to management. If you're not happy with their response, you go to board of directors. If you're not happy with their answers, the last resource is talk to SEC. You have to report it to SEC, Security Exchange Commission. That's the worst scenario for a company. Okay, so you need to know, you need to be a good accountant manager, would be a good manager in person, how to handle the situation. We have all these in IMA outline, and we discussed this in auditing class. There are a lot of certificates that I want you to read those. Now, next time you're coming back, we go over practice. Make sure you read those if you have a question. And any question today? End of lecture, and thank you for today. I see you on Wednesday.